Yes, it is basketball season. Welcome to another episode of Syracuse Sports. My name is Brent Axe. Amazing to have you here. You know what else is amazing? When you, the great listeners and viewers of Syracuse Sports, subscribe to the pod. If that's Spotify, Apple, or YouTube, make sure you do that. It's all presented by our friends at Krause Health, the exclusive healthcare partner for Syracuse Athletics. Plenty of basketball today. First, we're going to have a conversation with Eric Devendorf, former Orangeman, who's doing great things in the Syracuse community. He's doing some podcasting with Eton Thomas. He's going to be on some Syracuse basketball broadcasts this year on the ACC network and various outlets. So he's out there doing some big things, and he's been a guest on the podcast a couple of times, and great to bring him back. He's been at some practices in the preseason. Certainly we're seeing some exhibition play out here, depending on when you're watching or listening to this pod, whether you've seen one or two exhibitions with the Orange set to play pace in an exhibition game on Wednesday. So with the struggles of the football team, basketball is ever present. There's a buzz about this team. People are excited about it. I wanted to get not only Eric Devendorf's thoughts about what he's seen from this team and what they could be. But we have been doing this with our Syracuse Sports Insiders, both for football and basketball. It was time to break it out again, and we had a lot of fun with this. You guys are going to enjoy meeting some of your fellow insiders on this pod today as we did some Syracuse basketball over-unders with a few Syracuse Sports Insiders, and you guys will enjoy that coming up here. And being a Syracuse Sports Insider, what is that, Brent? You talk about this thing all the time. It gives you direct text message access to me anytime with your questions, your thoughts, your opinions, your questions, comments, and all manner of things. Syracuse Sports. You can talk to me during games. You can text me anytime, really. Just want to shoot the breeze and talk SU Sports. You can certainly do that as well. Being a Syracuse Sports Insider gives you not only direct text message access to me. When I have breaking news, you get it first. The entire group gets text messages from me just on all things happening in Syracuse sports, opinions, news, thoughts of the day, questions I have for you guys, and once in a while, your voice gets heard on this pod in our over-under segment. Only Syracuse Sports Insiders get their voices heard, their texts read on our Syracuse football and basketball postgame shows. It's just $3.99 a month to be a Syracuse Sports Insider. Try it free for 2 weeks. All the info is there on your screen or in the show notes. How you can sign up today to be a part of our text group, and we'd love for you to join. So, without further ado, let us get to what Eric Devendorf has to say about Syracuse basketball and what you, the Syracuse Sports Insiders, had to say in our over-under segment coming up here. And also this reminder as we transition to our basketball conversation that we love to feature your original music here on Syracuse Sports. And we got a band today that's been featured before, and we're going to highlight another one of their tunes here today. They're called Gypsy Nights. This is a song called Summer of Love. So what we'll do is we'll play a portion of that song now to transition to our interviews, and then we'll play the song in its entirety at the end of the podcast. Get in touch. All the info is in the show notes. You can email me directly, BAXE@syracuse.com. We can feature your original music here on Syracuse Sports. So let's listen to a little bit of Summer of Love from Gypsy Nights, and then we're going to listen to Eric Devendorf and some of our insiders talk some Syracuse basketball, because yes, it is basketball season.
It's like peanut butter jelly, babe, on a cool day. Just what I need to be out in the sun. Quick a little bite to continue the fun. I don't wanna slow down. I don't wanna go anywhere without you. Baby, I'm feeling blue. I'm never sick of the taste. No time is a waste. I can't believe this has happened to me. I'm in love for the first time.
Devo is here. We have both seen practice. We have both seen an exhibition. Some people might be watching or listening to this after the Pace exhibition, so we'll see what that brings to the table. But Devo, just from what you've seen thus far, right on the cusp of the season beginning here, what grabs you about this team?
Well, first thing that you see when they step out on the court is their length, their athleticism, their versatility. It just reminds me of the old Syracuse days, right? And I don't want to go too far back, but I think these guys are interchangeable. Guys can play multiple positions, and I think really defensively, once they start to figure out the rotations, the communications, and what they want to do, they could be a really good defensive team. Offensively, obviously, we added a great point guard in Nate George, and then surrounded him with some shooters, and then having Donnie and JJ come back, two of the better players in the ACC. I think this team has a high ceiling. I think what you saw against Buffalo is just Red trying to figure out some lineups and some chemistry and things like that. 17 turnovers, they won't have that, especially with Nate George, handling the ball most of the time. But athletic, versatile, and long, man. So it's some good things to start off with, and now they just have to figure out the details of it, like execute offensively and compete at a high level.
It's hard not to be intrigued by what you just said, particularly the athleticism. Even in that Buffalo exhibition game, Nate George is tossing lob passes to Donnie Freeman and tossing lob passes up to William Kyle, who we'll talk about. He can just jump out of the gym at this point. And I'm thinking, I didn't see that at all last year. They just didn't have those type of players last year. And they didn't have that type of guard. I mean, when you're bringing in a guy who had 221 assists, led the ACC in average assists per game, there's just a noticeable difference in, you said it, Eric, the pace they can play at, the athleticism that's out there. And you have somebody that, it's one thing to have a bunch of athletes running around out there. Someone has to control the game. And just from what I've seen so far, it looks like Nate George has that ability.
Oh, absolutely. I did probably 4 or 5 Georgia Tech games last year, and I was able to see him quite a bit. Just the control he plays with, the decision-making, being able to play off the pick and roll, getting guys in their spots. He's the setup guy, and he's going to make it easier for guys like JJ and Diney, and also Nate King's running the floor, spotting up, being able to shoot the ball. All those guys have to do is be able to, finish the play for him, whether it be make the jump shot or finish at the basket. But he's going to make everybody else's job a lot easier. JJ is not going to have to handle the ball as much. He's not going to, have to make decisions. Not that he's not capable of doing that, but Nate George is just a better decision maker. That's what he does. JJ is a scorer. That's his role. So now he can really focus on scoring the basketball. It'd be interesting to see, Brent, without Nate George on the floor, who they go to handle the ball. But honestly, I don't think they're going to see a lot of minutes without him on the floor. He's probably going to play a majority of the game in all the games. I mean, these early games are different. But once you start getting into, going to Vegas and playing against Tennessee in conference play, he's not going to be off the floor. If he is, the question is, who are you going to go to be able to handle the ball and make those decisions?
You mentioned JJ. The JJ and Donnie component of this is fascinating. First of all, none of this happens if they don't come back, right? In this era of the portal, they could have gone somewhere else, and we could be talking about an entirely different team here. But they anchor this thing, and they were able to sell a lot of these guys on why they should come to Syracuse. JJ and Donnie didn't play a lot together last year. Their injuries kind of coincided. Once one was hurt, the other was out, and vice versa, right? So there's a lot of intrigue there in that they're the returning leaders, Devo, but they didn't play together a lot last year. They led separately, particularly when JJ had to lead the way, but he had an injury that lingered through the year. So it's almost like so much of last year just exists in a vacuum somewhere, and this is a reset for these guys, even though we kind of know what their games look like.
Yeah, and I think they haven't really been talking about that a lot. JJ missed 7 games, and I think Donnie missed, half the season. So they weren't really able to develop that chemistry, but I think they had a great summer. From what I heard and from what I saw, they developed a good chemistry with all those guys. And we talked about Nate George coming in. He's going to help those guys even more. But I think it's a year for JJ. More efficient. Last year he handled the ball a lot more. He had to make more decisions. He had to put, his teammates in spots where they could, have success and score. So he's more of a playmaker, but this year he can just be more of a scorer. So I think his shooting percentages go up. I think he'll be able to get to the free throw line a lot. I think his percentages will go up from there, because last year he was like maybe 69, 70% from the line. He's a guy who should be shooting 75 to 80% from the line, if not higher, with the amount of times that he's able to get to the basket. And then as far as Donnie goes, we haven't even really seen his game, his full game.
Yeah.
If you're a Syracuse fan, you saw bits and pieces and you really liked it. He's a versatile forward who now could stretch it out and knock down the three-pointer. For me, I don't want him to fall in love with the three-point shot because I think he can really do damage in the mid-post area. Don't become one of those guys who, is just, outside standing on the perimeter looking to shoot jump shots, pick and pop. Now, you could do that, but, work inside out. He's 6'11". He's a guy who probably has a mismatch most of the time inside as far as speed goes. So he could use that to advantage, but he also can work to the outside, and he's an amazing rebounder. He averaged almost a double-double in the games that he's played. I think defensively for him this season, he can really lock in because he's capable to play. Last year, you just see as a freshman, maybe the effort wasn't always there on the defensive end, but again, he was playing hurt. So how hard could he really go? Being injured, playing most of the time. So it's going to be interesting to see with those guys fully healthy. How they could lead this team going forward into the year. And Brent, they're going to find out really early, going to Vegas against, Kansas and Houston, and then, coming home against Tennessee and St. Joe. So, it's going to be no time to waste. Those guys, have to be ready early, and they're going to have to win some of those games. If not, they're going to be put in a tough position come conference play.
Yeah, it's almost like there's two seasons, right? Three. There's the non-conference games where you should handle your business. There's those 4 games you mentioned, the 3 in Vegas. We know Houston and Kansas. The third is not going to be easy. Tennessee, and I would agree with you. I would even put St. Joe's in there, and then there's that block. Then, of course, what you do in ACC play, and there's such an importance on showing the committee you did something in non-conference play. So the chemistry that they will have to put forth, it's almost like they'll be a different team in how they handle those games versus the middle of February. And shooting is going to be an important part of that. I want to focus on shooting for a little bit here, Devo. Starting with Tyler Betsy. Okay, look, that guy can shoot the rock.
Yeah.
He can shoot from the outside. He can shoot inside the three-point line. And the best way I can describe it from just what I've seen when he's around the rim is he snaps to the rim. It's just a quick get to the rim type of thing.
Straight line guy, yeah.
That's a great way to put it. I think, look, when you bring in transfers and you go and you watch the YouTube clips and you try and get a sense of, okay, what kind of player is this? But seeing it up close, both in practice and at that exhibition game, I know people are excited about a lot of things on this team, but he's kind of knocking on the door like, you're going to have to play me, Red. And the role he could play, I think, is intriguing.
Well, that's one of the things that they have this year. They have depth. They have options. So if one guy's not bringing to the table, then, you put in another guy. Nate Kings is a guy who they brought in, to shoot the basketball. If he's not able to make shots, you put in Tyler Betsy. You go from 6'6" to 6'8", and both guys can shoot the ball. I think he's going to be able to get on the rebound, both offensively and defensively. And then defensively, he's able to, guard inside and on the perimeter. So he was a guy who shot the ball extremely well against Buffalo. He showed what he's capable of doing. Obviously, Nate Kings is going to be the starter at the position. But if he's not knocking down shots, it's good to have that next guy up who could come in and really do the same thing with more size.
Devo, I understand there's a difference between practice and a game and, what Nate does with defenses in his face. We have to see that. But I swear to God, I don't think I saw him hit the rim once. And I watched him shoot the ball a lot. There's just, there's just the pureness of good shooters. You always get that swish, that clean ball goes through the hoop. Just that guy can flat out shoot it, which we mentioned a little bit with Tyler Betsy. But man, Nate Kings just has that smooth shot. And look, all shooters have ruts. Like I said, defense is getting in their face and everything, but he's made his way, it would appear, into the starting 5. And when you got a guy who can just 44% from three-point range, the numbers are there. Now we've seen a little bit of it here. I think at some point this year, Devo, we're going to be like, how did Oregon State let this guy get away? He's that good, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, basketball is shooting now, right? Obviously, more than ever. It's see the NBA game, it's all threes. It's really no mid-range. It's either 3 or straight to the rim. And when you have a team that can shoot the basketball, it just makes it easier on everyone else. Now the driving lanes open up, the spacing on the floors opens up. You're able to get up and down and play a little bit faster. Defensively, you could set up. If guys are making shots, it's not always rebounding out for the other team. You're able to make shots and then set up your defense or set up your press. And I think it's something that Syracuse wants to do this year as well. They want to press. They have the guys to do it. They have the depth to do it. They have the speed and the athleticism to do it. But yeah, Brent, if you can't shoot the basketball in today's basketball, it's over. You know, they're just going to play pack line and they make you drive right into a defender, and then you're going to be shooting tough shots all game long. So to have guys like, you know, Nate King's on the perimeter, we know JJ's capable of shooting the ball. We know Nate George is an improved three-point shooter. He's a guy who could do it off the dribble or off the catch. And then you got Donnie Freeman, a guy who, again, I don't want him to fall in love with the three-point shot, but he's capable. You know, you just don't want a guy like that standing in the corner.
Yeah.
You know, you want to have him in the mid-post or elbow area. And then for me, I think at times there'll be, you know, where you could play him at the 5. You know, and that's really where you could do pick and pop with him, because if there's a 5-man guard in Donnie Freeman, I mean, let me know if there's anyone who can stay in front of him at that
Right.
position, but most likely not. So now you're bringing their 5-man away from the rim, and now, hey, JJ, Nate George, go ahead, drive the basket every single chance you get. So just having 4 shooters on the court at one time, I mean, makes a heck of a difference. And again, we talked about Nate George. He's a guy who he's going to put him in position and he's going to find them, and all they got to do is knock it down.
Maybe we've been kind of building to this, Eric, but how does this team make Autry a better coach, in the sense of what is this team will allow him to do that maybe he just couldn't given the roster he had last year?
Players play. You know, you got to have good players to win basketball games. I don't care who is coaching. If you don't have good players, you're probably not going to win. You know, the coach's job is to, you know, let them know what their role is, you know, put them in situations to have success, you know, set up the plays or whatever they want to do in the half court set to execute. But at the end of the day, he has guys who, in JJ, you know, Donnie coming into his sophomore year, you know, Nate George, who's been in the ACC, he's a junior. He has guys who have been there. So he doesn't really have to, you know, coach them, so to speak. He just has to put them in position to where they can have success, they can execute, and then they can make plays. You know, players are going to be on the court, and they're the ones making plays. Coaches can't get out there and play for you. You know, his job is to, like I said, put the roles into these guys. Hey, this is what we need you to do: rebound, defend, shoot the ball, whatever it is. And then those guys got to go out there and do it. And this year he has the players that could do it. You know, they could go out there and make plays. They can shoot the basketball. They're athletic. And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of fast pace up and down, because again, in today's age of basketball, you don't want to have to play in half court every single time. It just it's not fun for the fans, first of all, but
Right.
for them, you have to play against a set defense every single possession. That's hard to do. You can't sustain throughout a whole year like that. So you got to be able to get out, get some easy buckets, set up your press, and then make it hard on the opposition, you know, going back on the other end.
Devo, a guy we haven't mentioned yet, is Sadiq White, who comes in as a highly touted freshman.
Yeah.
Now, Eric and I are recording this before the Pace exhibition. There were some reports as we record this that he could be out there on Wednesday. He sat out the Buffalo game with what was described as an upper body injury. He's going to practice Tuesday, see how he feels, and he might be out there Wednesday. For all accounts are, it's not serious, and we'll see him soon enough. But the practice I went to, Eric, and this is a compliment, trust me, he didn't shut up the whole time. He was vocal. He was encouraging people. He was coaching people. He was standing right in red shadow, asking questions, just in it, active, right? Just somebody who, he doesn't look or sound like a freshman, just somebody who's engaged and in it. I didn't get to see him play at practice. Maybe you did at the practices that you were at, but I did see some footage from, they had a little tip-off event a couple Fridays ago where he had some dunks where his athleticism absolutely showed. But the thing with Sadiq, and I know I'm wrapping this all into one thing here, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Not only can he play defense, Eric, he likes to play defense.
Mm-hmm.
He's good at defense. He's a shot blocker. So that's half the battle when you got somebody that embraces their role and is pretty darn good at it too.
Absolutely. And I like the mixture this team has this year of veteran guys, and they're bringing in some young talent and energized talent, right? Energized guys who want to play, who want to compete at a high level. And, you know, speaking about Sadiq White, he'll be a first round NBA draft pick, and he's not even, hit any type of level of his offensive ability that he could hit. You know, he could shoot the ball, but he's not a guy who you're going to look to shoot the ball, right? His form is there, but he's going to hang his hat on the defensive side of the ball. He's going to get blocks. He's going to get steals. He's a guy who could probably guard 1 through 5. Honestly, his motor is at a high level, which is rare for a freshman to come in and be the one talking, be the one, setting the tone in practice. And the practices that I've been to, he was all over. He's flying around. He's active. He's bringing, a high motor and big time energy and effort. And those are the things that you don't want to have to coach when you're a college basketball coach. You could, the skills and the plays, execution, defensive stuff, all the rotation, you could teach that, but you don't want to have to teach a guy how to play hard, right? And how to compete at a high level. When you're coming to a program like Syracuse University, you should already have that in you, and this guy, what he is, he's a dog, and just to be honest, Syracuse needs more dogs out on the floor. When things aren't going well, are you just going to fold, or are you going to, keep fighting? Are you going to, bring your teammates in the huddle and make sure everybody's on the same page? And he's a guy that's going to do that. Nate George is a guy that's going to do that, So again, to have guys 6'9" who could switch every single position, who could fly up and down the court, who could run and catch lobs, and are still capable, to shoot the open shot. It's night and day from last year. And I love Sadiq White. I think his passion, his energy, his effort, it exudes him. It's just you see it right away. And again, that's rare to see that from a young freshman, but that's what he brings to the table, and he's just a guy that's just going to continue to improve as the year goes forward.
I think where they're going to need some dogs, as you put it, is on defense. They gave up 78 points per game last year. I mean, you're nothing if you can't play defense. You can score points all night long. You've got to play some defense. The athleticism, the talent, the length, all there, as you noted. But all told, how does Red make this a better defensive team?
I think so. The coach's job. You have to have a plan and let the players know what the plan is. Hey, this is what we're going to do. Win, lose, or draw. It's going to be. They're going to make shots. They're going to miss shots. Things are going to happen. There's going to be breakdowns. Guys are going to get drove past. Whatever it is, you can't go away from what the plan is. Right? You have to be able to stick with the plan. Hey, this is how we're going to guard. If the thing is with this team, if guys get drove by or driven by, then you have 2 guys at the rim who probably could block the shot. You're talking about William Kyle, and then if Donnie Freeman's in there, he's capable of blocking shots coming from the weak side. If Sadiq White's in there, he's capable of coming from the weak side and blocking shots. So it makes the guards' jobs much easier to get up and press the ball, because they know they got guys behind them that are protecting the rim. So I think last year they couldn't be as aggressive as maybe they wanted to be. One, they didn't have the guys to do that, to stay in front. But 2, they didn't have the shot blockers at the rim. They had 0 shot blockers, so to be able to have those guys protecting the rim, now the guards can get up and play a little bit more aggressive. Now the guards on the other team, it's not as easy for them to make decisions. They can't just sit there and look over the defense and, be able to have all this time to, see what's going on. They'll have those guards up in their face, guarding them. Now they got to make quick decisions. And as we all know, that usually results in more turnovers. So I think Red just has to have his plan, and I know he does. Tell his team what it is. Hey, this is what we're going to do. And, regardless of what happens throughout the game, we're sticking to it. Yeah, we got to maybe make little tweaks here and there, adjustments. If a guy gets hot, or if you got to double the post, whatever it is, those are in-game adjustments. But just sticking to the plan and having him and his players know what they're trying to do.
Devo, before we let you go, you're so active here in the Central New York community in a lot of ways, and Thanksgiving is approaching, and you do a great thing every year here in the community. So tell us about that and how people can help you out with that.
Yeah, so this is our 8th annual turkey drive. It's funny because our first year we handed out like 75 turkeys in the back of the rescue mission, and now in our 8th year we're handing out 500 turkey dinners. Ooh. So with turkeys and sides and everything that goes with Thanksgiving, we're going to hand out over 500 on November 22nd on the south side of Syracuse at the Boys and Girls Club of Central Village. The event will be from 12 to 2. Right now, we're collecting all non-perishable items. We have 8 drop-off spots. Seneca Savings, we have all their locations. We have drop-off spots in Bridgeport, Manulus, North Syracuse, Liverpool, and there's also one in Baldwinsville. Edge Strength and Conditioning has 2 drop-off locations downtown and on Wilkinson Street. And then also we have Nick's Barbershop in Liverpool, and then That Hair Place in Baldwinsville on Oswego Street. So a lot of support, a lot of people helping. You could go to ed23foundation.org. You could see the flyers. You could see how to donate, how to help. Always have a ton of people reaching out, asking how they could help, how they could donate, whether it be monetary or just non-perishable goods. And we're also teaming up with Syracuse Crunch. We do an event every single year where we'll have donation boxes at the games where you could drop off donations before the game, and Limp Lizard as well. We have events just to try to get more non-perishable items in. So a lot of good things going. November 22nd, 12 to 2, Boys and Girls Club Central Village. I encourage people to come and help hand out turkeys. We usually have anywhere from 50 to 60 people there, handing out turkeys, and it's just a great feeling. And Brent, especially now this year, it's even more crucial, right?
Yeah.
With just everything going on. I mean, the government shut down, so people are losing, their benefits or whatever they had going on. So it's going to be a tough time for a lot of people. And 500 seems like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, it's really not compared to the need right here in Syracuse and just New York State in general. So we're just trying to help out as much people as we can. The foundation is in its 3rd year, and we're just trying to grow it and get people involved who have that same vision to help out the community.
Yeah, if you can help out Eric and his efforts, that'd be great. You mentioned the locations, and check out the website as well. Devo, we'll be seeing you on TV, calling some games. You've got the pod with Atan Thomas. You guys got to work out that title, though. I don't know if it's Atan and Devo, if it's Devo and Atan.
We're gonna go with Atan and Devo. Yeah, we're gonna. He's the
He
OG.
took command of that.
He's the OG. So
he's okay. That's fair. He's
right.
the OG. I was gonna say alphabetically, you win there.
Yeah.
You're both E, but you got Devo over. But if he's the OG, I get it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's a respect thing.
Respect, exactly. You guys were kind enough to invite me on that pod. Had a blast being there, and people should check that out as well as you and E talk. Not only basketball, but a lot of different things in life. So, guys, check that out as well. All the places you get your podcasts. And thanks for coming on this podcast today, my friend. I know I'll be seeing you at the Dome, but great to see you here today.
Brent, I appreciate you as always.
All right, we got Stan, our first contestant here on The Price is Right, Syracuse basketball over-unders. First of all, thanks for being an insider, my friend, and thanks for hopping on with us today. How are you?
Yeah, I really enjoy your insider system. I mean, it's keeps me. The only thing is sometimes you go to some obscure sports and it's like, I didn't even know they had a team in that.
we keep you informed from all angles, Stan. That's what we're aiming to do.
But I'll tell you what, it's been a rough fall because after all the success of lacrosse, I'm a big lacrosse fan. In fact, I actually went to the 1988 national championship game at the
Dome.
Dome. That was the game, the game before that, the semis, was the Air Gate game.
So you were there for Air
I was
Gate.
there.
I was there too.
Air Gate. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, what was that?
We saw history that day, my friend.
And that won the game? Did you know that won the game?
It's a close game.
It was 11-10 against 10, and that was the 11th goal.
That was a close. People don't remember how close that game was.
Then they kind of beat Cornell easily in the final, but the semifinal was.
I love it. We got a lax guy here. You know that I love to talk and text about lacrosse. So we're excited about that season.
But then the football season starts and we lose the quarterback. Oh my God! And then basketball.
But here's basketball.
Was horrible. I mean, I thought Buffalo is number 329, and we almost lost to them.
That's what I'm kind of wondering. It's exhibition play. You're messing around with some different lineups here, but if this team is going to have success and get to the tournament, they have got to play better defense. Bottom line, they've got a lot of athleticism and a lot of exciting offensive players, but defense is going to be the name of the game, which, by the way, Stan, may just be one of your over-under numbers here.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, let's start there, okay? Here's your first one. You ready?
Yeah.
Over or under Syracuse opponents averaging 77.8 points per game. So last year, that's what opponents averaged against Syracuse, 77.8 points per game.
Yeah.
Will this year's number be over or under that?
Under.
You're going to go under on that? So you got faith they're going to play some better defense?
They gotta. They were terrible.
Nowhere to go but up in that category, right? Now, I think one of the keys there could be Sadiq White because he jumps out of the gym.
Yeah.
He can block shots. And the key with this team, Stan, and any of these guys, which we just didn't see enough of last year, you got to want to play defense.
Yeah.
And I've gotten the sense that these guys know they've got to be better and want to play defense.
You know, the one thing, although I don't think Adrian's ever going to go back to full-time zone, but the one thing about the zone that when the kids finally figured it out, usually it took a third of the season to create that spider web effect that you couldn't get the ball inside.
Right.
They relished it. You could tell that they enjoyed holding teams. I mean, that one year we beat, who the heck did we beat? They only scored 35 points. It was in the NCAA. It might have been Marquette or somebody. I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, they couldn't get the ball.
They were flummoxed. Yeah.
Anywhere inside, and we were still covering the threes, you know?
So let's switch to offense here, my friend, as much as we love talking defense. And you're right about that. And maybe that can create that kind of defensive identity playing man-to-man.
Yeah.
But let's flip to offense. Syracuse averaged 74.7 points per game last year. Will they be over or under that number?
Over.
It's hard not to think over with more shooters, better offensive talent.
What do we have? The third worst three-point shooting percentage in the nation?
One of the worst in the country.
I mean, there's 300 teams in Division I.
They got to be better. Both of our categories so far, they got to be better in each of these, right?
If they aren't, then Adrian, go find another job because, this is the way I feel about Adrian. This is the most talented team we've had in 5 years, at least.
I would agree with that.
If he doesn't win 25 or 22 games, let's say, he should be gone because that just means he doesn't know how to coach because these guys are good. I mean,
this is
you can just tell, even in the game Saturday, you could just tell athleticism and the shooting abilities. And I was like, wow.
The trick is always, can you get 11 new players to mesh together? But that's the game these days, right? That's what a coach does. And that's what's going to point right to him. I would agree with you there.
Yeah.
All right. So off of that, Stan, you said.
How do I know when I'm right or wrong? I mean, how does this work? I don't get it.
You're going to be right or wrong at the end of the season, right?
Oh, I got to wait.
So you're projecting. Yeah, you're projecting whether you're right or wrong.
Wait a minute. Hey, Brent.
He's like, what am I playing for? What's my prize?
I'm 80 years old. It might be at my funeral that you tell.
Well, we hope not. You need to see this team make the tournament before that happens, Stan. I love it. So you just answered my third one, by the way. I said the third one was going to be over or under 20 wins. And you said, look, with this team, you got to win at least 22, right? So
otherwise,
we're going over.
Fired. He's fired.
God, you would think so, right? I don't want to draw a line of tournament or bust. I just don't want to deal with an absolute like that. What are you talking about?
This is a program that's always in the tournament. It's got to be tournament or bust.
Fair pushback.
There's not even a question. If you can't get in the tournament when you're in Syracuse, you're the wrong coach. Get out of here.
All right. I think you just talked me into it. Because what I was going to say is if there's a scenario, they're at the end of the year, they win 21. Let's say they win 22 games, like you said, and they just get snubbed out of the tournament, or they had a bunch of close losses, and the team looks better. They're engaged. They're angry. They're all coming back next year, and they believe in what Adrian's doing. Then I think you at least have to consider it.
I agree.
Here's how I'm going to frame it, Stan. I think it's a make or break year for Adrian Autry, no matter what.
Yeah.
But I don't want to put a contingent on you've got to make the tournament or not.
Yeah, because there is politics in the committee when they're deciding who the at-large
team. And we have gone through that. We have gone through that before.
I think they hated Boeheim. I really do. I don't think that committee ever liked him, and so if they could find a way to leave him out, it was out there.
There's always we don't know what goes on in that room, right? There's stories to be told.
We were in the same class. Did you know?
You were in the same class with Coach?
With Boeheim.
How about that? That's fantastic.
Yeah, and
I love it.
I was president of the club, the alumni club here in Atlanta, back in the 90s, 80s and 90s, and we had him down here a couple times to talk. I'd pick him up at the airport, and we'd talk about golf because I'm a golfer too. He's much better than I am, but yeah. So we had a good time.
Stan, we really appreciate you hopping on today. Great insight. You're welcome back anytime, my friend, to talk
I
hoops
love
or football, lacrosse.
whole...
You love lacrosse, so we'll get you to talk some lacrosse. But
oh
thank
my
you.
God, I just love that game. Yeah, that's so. And you know what? I tell the story to friends all the time. I mean, it seems like every week I tell the story about the Harvard game in the playoffs. So this team was out 8-2 at halftime. They looked so bad. And they were still not doing that well. And then there's like 4 minutes left in the game. And in 90 seconds, they score 5 goals.
Yeah.
And
that's what that team could do.
And it was like, oh my God, this is the most exciting sporting event I've ever seen.
That's lacrosse at its best, my friend,
really
when it's played at that pace.
Thanks for having me in.
Brian is ready to rock here as the second contestant on our Syracuse basketball over-unders. First of all, thanks for hopping on with us today. How you feeling about this upcoming basketball season, my friend?
Excited about this season, or more excited about this season as maybe any other that we've had over the past few years. So ready to see how this plays out.
I think people are really excited already. We've gotten a little taste with some exhibition basketball. They see the athleticism. I think I can make you this guarantee, Brian. I don't like to make guarantees, or I don't have the money to give it back to you, even if this doesn't come through. This team will be more fun to watch. And I think that's all you can ask for, right?
No doubt about that. Even just by watching the first exhibition, I think that's pretty clear. Now, whether the results are going to play out, we'll see, but it's going to be more fun to watch. Absolutely.
This year will be more fun to watch for sure. So I have 3 over-unders for you, my friend.
Yeah.
Here's the first one. J.J. Starling, over or under 17.8 points per game. That is what J.J. averaged last year. Will his average end up over or under 17.8 points per game?
I'm going to go under. I feel pretty strongly about this, and it's due to the depth of the team. He's not going to have to do as much for this team. Still probably needs to be the leading scorer up near there, but I don't know if they necessarily need 17.5 points a game, so I will take the under on that one.
I'm going to tend to agree with you on that. I think how Autry spreads the wealth on this team with a bunch of guys that can score, they certainly have more shooters, is going to be fascinating to watch. And there's 11 new guys on this team, Brian. We even saw it in the exhibition game at Buffalo. Starts to get tense late. Buffalo's coming back into the game. Who's got the ball in their hands, right? That's when you're going to lean on your veterans a little bit. But is it JJ? Donnie took over a little bit. Is it just who's got the hot hand? Like, those are fascinating questions when things get into crunch time. I think you tend to go to JJ, but I think what you said is right. JJ doesn't have to go out there and light the world on fire this year. And of course, he missed a bunch of time last year with an injury. Still ended up with that average, which is pretty good. But if they move the ball and they go at an up-tempo pace, he won't have to average that much. Here's your second one. Now, Donnie Freeman, of course, was out for most of the year. So I'm not citing an average from last year. I'm just going to draw a line here. Donnie Freeman will average 15 points per game this season, over or under?
I'm going to take the under on this one as well.
Okay.
And that's, I expect a big year from Donnie Freeman, a breakout year from Donnie Freeman. But I think because so many guys are going to play and they're really going to spread around the minutes and the wealth, I have him like just a hair under that, maybe 14 points or something. And that's only due to the depth, not his ability. I think he's going to have an outstanding year, but I'll chalk it up to the depth. I'll say just a hair under 15.
I think that's well said. And what I'm curious about with Donnie's game, Brian, is he likes to shoot threes. He can shoot threes. But there's about 2 or 3 guys ahead of him on the list that are just better at it, and I think they're going to count on. So that average, I think, is going to tilt over that number based on the frequency of three-pointers. But this guy he'll have 14, 16, 18 points at halftime in a number of games this year, right? He'll get there.
I'll take 15 rebounds a game, though.
That's the thing. That's the thing, man. They need those rebounds, and he was getting a lot better at that before that unfortunate injury last year. Now, you've mentioned it a couple times, spreading the wealth, right? Well, the guy that's got to do that is Nathan George, the point guard. So, Nathan George, Brian, over or under 221 assists. That is a number that was second in the ACC last year. His average led the ACC, but it was second overall, that number. So, How much wealth are we going to be spreading here with Nathan George? Over or under 221 assists?
All right, let me do the math here. We have 31 games in a season. Was that spread out? Was that just regular season? Did that count?
That was regular season. Yep.
Okay, so 31, and he had 221 assists. Okay.
Correct.
So what is that, roughly 8 or so assists a game?
I'm going to do the math for you right now. So we got 221 assists divided by, we'll say 30 games. Yeah, that's about 7.3 assists per game.
Wow.
Big number.
That is a big number. Am I going to go under on 3 in a row? And the only reason I'm going to go under is because the way Syracuse plays. They play a little bit different offensively than some other teams. Like, while I think everything's going to run through him at the point guard position, there's a little bit of individual creativity in the offense that doesn't always lend itself to set plays. So that's a huge number. He's probably, in my estimation, maybe the most important guy on the team.
No doubt about it.
But I'm going to go under simply for the way Syracuse plays. I don't think he'll be able to rack up that high an assist rate. That's a huge number. I didn't realize he was that high.
It's a big number. And look, he's going to play the most minutes on this team, in my opinion. JJ can run the point if needed. Luke Fennell is your backup point guard at this point. They are going to count on him to be out there, I think, 35, 36 minutes a game, generating that offense. So I'm going to take the over on that, actually.
Okay.
I think he is going to – that's why they brought him in. Like, what you did at Georgia Tech last year, we want you to do here. And they're just going to see that game by game, 6, 7, 8, 9 assists, and the next thing you're going to look up and you'll be like, wow, he's getting there on that number. So I would take the over on that.
If we hit the over on that, I think that's a really good sign about how the offense is playing.
I agree with you. All right, Brian, before we let you go, bonus question.
Yes.
Bonus over under. Syracuse basketball over or under 20 wins this season?
I'm going to go over.
Okay.
Cautiously over on that. And what I will say about that, I'm sure you would agree, they might get over 20 wins. I'm still not sure if that's going to be good enough to make the NCAA tournament, simply because of the strength of the ACC, which isn't very strong. In my estimation, they've got to get 1 out of the 3, at least 1 out of the 3 of those big non-conference games, right? Well, actually, they'll probably have a 4th, right, in Vegas that'll add a 4th.
Right.
But there's Houston, there's Tennessee, there's Kansas, and then maybe
and then a 3rd team in Vegas, which we're not quite sure who it's going to be, but it'll look to be a quality win. So you're right about that. One of those 4, at least you got to get. 2 would be primo. 1, I think, is necessary.
Non-conference is the key for sure with this team. But I'll go over. I'm optimistic about this.
I agree with you, Brian. Where I think they could tilt on the over there is the rest of the non-conference slate, not that impressive. And I think that's by design, by the way, so they can rack up some wins and some margin of victory. And you mentioned ACC. Look, let's see if it's better this year overall. They're only getting about 4 or 5 teams in. And the teams that get to the tournament have been successful, by the way. There's a bit of a misnomer on the ACC success in the tournament, but there's some wins you can grab in that league as well. Now, here's the thing, man. That's a 6 or 7 win, depending on if you're at 20 or at 21 in the over. They won 14 games last year. That's a 7-win jump from a year ago. It's not easy to do, as much as this team is much more talented than last year. So,
and with all of those, what are perceived to be the stronger teams in the ACC right now, it looks like a majority of those games are on the road. That could be a blessing in disguise. You've got to knock off a big team on the road to get into the tournament. So maybe the schedule is set up well for them in that respect, but they've got to win 1 or 2 of those games on the road.
Brian, thanks for hanging with us today. Thanks for being an insider, my friend. Really appreciate it. I know we'll be talking on the text line throughout the season, but I really appreciate you making the time to do this today.
Thanks for having me.
Matt, thanks for joining us, my friend. Thanks for being an insider. We've got 3 over-unders for you, okay?
Nice. Thank you, Brent.
Yeah, thanks. Great to see you. And
you too.
There's a little bit of a theme here for you, okay? You'll notice a theme here. See if you can guess the theme. as we go through the over-unders. First one, Nate Kings was a 44.6% three-point shooter last season. Will Nate Kings be over or under that percentage in a Syracuse uniform? That's a big number. That's a great number. That's an encouraging number for what Syracuse needs in that department.
Super encouraging number. Yeah. I'm happy about that. Although, I mean, it's like there's a lot of depth here. So I'm wondering, I guess historically you see a lot of depth early and then it kind of gets whittled down later. So I feel like he's going to be a mainstay. 44.6 is high though.
High number.
I'm just going to be optimistic and say I'm going to take the over.
All right. Nate,
so let me ask you this, Brent. Let me ask you this.
Sure.
Is there going to be like a follow-up at the end of the season? Are there prizes? Like what's the...
You're the second person to ask about that. I guess we're going to have to come up with a prize. Nice. If you guys nail this stuff, whoever's the most accurate in the over-unders here. We don't have T-shirts or anything. I'll just have to I'll just reach behind me on my shelf and you can have my copy of Pearl Jam's Vitology here or something like that. But
nice.
I think we're going to have to come up with something on that.
Have you thought about merch?
We have thought about merch. We are thinking about merch. So I'm glad to hear one of you guys saying, "Hey, what about the merch?"
Nice. But here's the thing. I'm happy and grateful that you don't try to sell us merch ever.
See, that's the balance, right?
Yeah.
I think a Free Throws Matter T-shirt would do pretty well.
That would be good.
Don't steal my idea, people. Okay, that's my idea. I like that you said over because I think Kings is going to be balanced enough in terms of his three-point shooting that they're not going to ask him to go out there and take 9, 10, 11 threes.
Which is what I like about
opportunistic threes. Yeah.
Seems like people are going to be playing their actual positions.
Correct. He's going to be in the starting five, but if his minutes average out to, it's just one exhibition game, but if his minutes average out around 18 to 20 minutes per game, I think that percentage could be pretty high. And this kid can shoot. Matt, this kid can shoot. He does not miss. I don't want to put any pressure on him here, but 44.6%, that's a high number. Even if he's off a little bit, like he's got some cushion there. Think of the cushion he's got. Even if you're 39%, that's still really good.
Yeah.
Right? But man, he can shoot.
Remind me how he did in the Buffalo game.
This Buffalo game, good question. He didn't play as much as I thought he should have. Okay. But let's look that up while we're yapping about it here. What his exact numbers were. Now, some people might be listening to this after they play Pace on Wednesday night at the Dome, right? So he might have more minutes, a better shooting output here. But Nate Kings against Buffalo, let's see, he was 3 of 4. He hit 1 3, 4 rebounds, 7 points in 19 minutes.
I mean, the lineups are all over the place and it's an exhibition, whatever.
Okay, next one. William Kyle, the third. The third. Anytime you got that in your title, you got to say that. The third. Over or under 6.6 rebounds per game. This team needs
6.6 rebounds a game, over or under. I'm gonna stay optimistic, Brent. I'm saying over. Give me the over
there. Now, the thing with Kyle, even from early reads, he's got to be around the basket.
Right.
He's going to be around the basket a lot. Offensively, he needs to be because his shooting stroke, I don't know if you saw him at the free throw line.
That foul shot was janky.
Speaking of free throws, man, my guy was 17 of 41 last year at the free throw line. I like that word, a little janky. So, but he's going to be around the hoop a lot, and he can jump out of the gym. Yeah. So I think between him and Freeman and some of those guys they're going to have chasing the ball, I would definitely take the over on that one.
Yeah. He had like shades of he had shades of Conrad McRae.
Ooh.
Like I felt like he looks like him. He kind of has that like bouncy sort of thing going on. He's not quite as tall, but I don't know. I like that.
I like that reference. That's a good one. All right, third one for you. Kyan Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Over or under 20 minutes per game.
Ooh. I'm going to, oh man, these are good. I mean, this is the transfer.
These are the new guys. You figured it out.
The new guys, I guess.
These are the new guys.
Transfer.
Yep.
Ooh, that is a good one. Because I mean, he looked better than I thought he was going to look in that exhibition. He just looked more comfortable, more confident, which is a great sign.
He's going to be the first guy off the bench, you know, at that whatever 13, 14-minute mark when Red will go to the bench, switch things up. He's always going to be one of the first two in, along with Sadiq and Tyler Betsy. But how does it average out over an entire game?
There's a lot of minutes to go around. I'm going to stay optimistic, Brent. And I'm going to take the over.
There we go. Going to take the over on that.
Yeah.
Will he settle in? I don't want to compare him to Deion Waiters because Deion was such a unique player in that he never started a game, but he averaged like 33 minutes a game. I don't know if I would put him in that category, but could he be in that? Yeah, you don't start, but you play a lot and you're in there when it matters, kind of thing.
It could be. You know, it's it'll be interesting to see like when ACC play starts because his body is definitely not like an upper class body. I feel like he's a little bit scrawny still, but who knows? I don't know. You know, he seemed confident.
He's in there for his offense, right? He is in there to score.
Right.
We'll see how his defense improves as it goes along here, but he is in there to score. So
yeah,
relative to how the game goes and what the scenario is, if you need more offense or defense, so who's in foul trouble, but he will play a lot. People will not be disappointed to come to a game and not see him out there at the very least.
Yep.
Bonus question.
Ooh, okay. Here we go.
Over or under 20 wins, Syracuse basketball.
That's interesting. I haven't even like really looked at the schedule real hard yet and figured that out. 20 wins. I mean, let's just keep it going. Keep it going.
Hit that over.
Let's take the over.
All right. Now remember, as talented as this team is,
yeah,
you got a Houston, you got a Kansas, you got a Tennessee,
early.
You got a third team in Vegas early, all before Christmas.
Yeah.
The ACC, people say, is air quotes down, but it's still a tough league. It's still top heavy. You got Duke and Louisville. NC State's really good, just to name a few. That's a 7-win jump. If you take the over, that's 7 more wins than last year. That's a big, big jump. And the non-conference slate is also tilted to pick up some of those wins when you got the Delaware States of the world coming to the Dome and trying to kind of build up that resume. But I like your optimism. 7 wins. 7 more wins.
I'm going opposite my insider text line football season self, where I'm surprised you haven't like called my local police for a wellness check yet.
That's what I'm here for, man. You just got to get it off your chest. It's
the cheapest therapy there is.
There you go. See?
But yeah, I mean, you know, it's like it was just the most heartening thing about that Buffalo game, exhibition, whatever, but it was just so nice to see or to not see certain players out there. I'll be nice, but you know, it was just like, it feels a lot different.
Yeah.
And I you know, it's November. Why not be optimistic?
I can't guarantee more wins. I can't guarantee a lot of things, but what I can guarantee is this team will be more fun to watch.
Yeah.
And more interesting to watch. And people, there'll be a buzz around this team that just was not there clearly and dissipated early last season. That will not be the case with this team.
Like, so I'll bet the turnovers will be more than we want them to be because they're going to be looser, I feel like.
But if you're getting turnovers because you're playing at a fast pace and that kind of comes, you don't want 17 like they had in the Buffalo exhibition. But if they're coming at the expense of a team that goes up and down the court, I'll take that spoonful of, what's that expression? A spoonful of sugar. That's the medicine to go down. I'll take that.
Something
like that. Exactly.
Yeah.
Maddie, good stuff, man. I appreciate your enthusiasm on the text line, that the cheap therapy, as you said, and appreciate you doing this. And let's go. It's basketball season, man.
I'll see you at the check-in in April, right?
That's the prize handouts.
That's right.
In April,
That's
whatever
right.
it is. We'll come up with something. Maybe a Snickers bar or something. I don't know. Lots of hoops talk there. Thanks to Stan, Brian, and Matt, our Syracuse Sports Insiders, who joined us for that segment. That was a lot of fun. How about my guy Stan bringing the fastball? You got to love it. Good stuff there. We'll be hearing from him again, I'm sure. And we can hear from you as a Syracuse Sports Insider anytime. Join today our growing, passionate community of Syracuse sports fans who get texts from me, your ability to text me anytime, especially during games. What do you guys blow off some steam during these games? So I'm going to give you my thoughts and observations on Syracuse basketball, certainly the remaining Syracuse football games, news, tidbits, insight, analysis, everything. Just talking Syracuse sports. Being a part of our Syracuse Sports Insider community brings you all of that. Thanks to our guys today for joining us on the pod. And of course, our thanks to Eric Devendorf for joining us as well. I hope you could help out his turkey drive, his food drive here in central New York. He gave you all the locations, but the best thing to do is hit up his website if you guys want to help out, especially in with the holidays coming. There's some trying times for some people with the government shutdown. If you can help out, Eric Devendorf, I know, would greatly appreciate that. It's amazing what he does here for the Central New York community day in and day out, let alone talking hoops with our guy, Eric Devendorf. Let us get taken out here by a great band. They're called Gypsy Nights. Summer of Love is the song, and we are featuring them today, but we can feature you in the future. Keep them coming. We've had a lot of great artists featured on this show, but I know there's so much more to be had. I know there's so much more music out there that the great listeners of Syracuse Sports need to hear. So if you are in a band, if you are an independent artist, if you want to get your music featured on this show, please get in touch. BAXE at syracuse.com. That's my email. All the info's in the show notes here on where you can find our friends at Gypsy Nights. We always highlight our artists, and we want to highlight you. So get in touch so we can play your music here on the pod. More to come later this week. We're going to talk to Joe Giglio, a good friend of mine who does an amazing job covering all things, including North Carolina football. Yeah, we're going to talk Belichick and UNC and that whole enigma going on down there, plus some more basketball thoughts heading into the weekend. Our live Syracuse football postgame show. Halloween night, we'll be trick-or-treating with you, talking Syracuse, North Carolina, in our live postgame show on Friday night. After that game, and starting soon, guys, our basketball postgame shows coming at you as well. So please make sure you're subscribed, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, so you don't miss a thing here on Syracuse Sports and our Syracuse Sports live postgame shows. That's going to do it for this edition of Syracuse Sports, presented by Krause Health, the exclusive healthcare partner for Syracuse Athletics. Gypsy Nights, take us out, baby.
It's like peanut butter jelly, babe, on a cool day. Just what I need being out in the sun. Quick a little bite to continue the fun. I don't wanna slow down. I don't wanna go anywhere without you. Baby, I'm feeling blue. I'm never sick of the taste. No time is a waste. I can't believe this has happened to me. I'm in love. Driving with the windows down. Summertime and the living's easy. Playing on the stereo. We got no place to go. The first day of spring is just a little cool, but the sun is out, so we make our own rules and we be jamming. Yeah, sweet surrender. What a treat, what a treasure.